we sip the tea and roast the hate. Red flags, boom, we don't negotiate. We light the fuse and detonate. It's Toxic Tuesday, so grab your mug. We spill it all, no shame, no shrug. Your ex was trash, we see you, boo. Let's talk it out and heal that too. Welcome to Date or Detonate. This is the place where truth gets loud, but you're still safe and we're still proud. Laugh through the pain, unlearn the fear. Fix your crown, we're glad you're here. It's Toxic Tuesday. So block that ghost, delete that clown. You've got this now, go run this town. Welcome to Date or Detonate. Go bless, block and bounce. It's Toxic Tuesday. It's Toxic Tuesday. So block that ghost, delete that clown. You've got this now, go run this town. Welcome to Date or Detonate. Go bless, block and bounce. It's toxic.
Hey guys! We're so excited to be here. Please let us know in the chat if you are here and we are live. We were having a little bit of a delay. We just want to confirm you guys are here. We're so excited. Hey Kylie! Hey Monochrome, what's up? We're so happy that you're here. Please let us know if you can hear us and there's a delay. Otherwise, we're so excited to get started. Where are you watching from? Kylie, where are you watching from? Hey! We have a really good episode tonight. We're so excited. If you haven't already, I'm going to post it in the chat. We have our anonymous link that you can click. You're in Detroit. Hey! We have our anonymous link that you can click if for anyone that's watching or is going to watch back later. You guys can click the link for your anonymous submissions. We're here for you. I'm gonna send that in the chat right now. How's the audio? Everything's good? There's a link below if you want to send in your anonymous submission, or you can send it in our chat if you don't want to be anonymous. And we are here for you. We want to create a safe space for everybody. We do have a degree in psychology, so we want to be the best for our viewers. And this episode tonight, we're going to wait a few minutes to let some people join, but this episode tonight is about how to leave an abusive relationship. Me personally, I've been in one for way too long, a long time ago when I was younger, and I know that we do have some younger viewers and some older viewers, and I don't think that abuse cares about the age, so we want to make sure that we give great valuable content to our viewers to help them get the support that they need to leave an abusive relationship. And we worked really hard on this, and we're so excited to share it with you guys. So if you're here in the chat, please send us a fire emoji. We're gonna start in about a minute. I'm so excited. Oh, you're in Britain right now? That is so cool. That is so cool. We've actually never been. Hopefully sometime. That's amazing. Hey Kylie, where are you watching from? Okay, perfect. Okay, here we go. Okay, welcome back to Toxic Tuesday, where we drag red flags through the mud and teach you how to block, bless, and bounce in style. I'm your host, Luma, and if you're joining us live, buckle up buttercups because we're about to talk about the big one. How to leave a toxic relationship. And before anyone starts typing in the chat, just leave Karen, we see you. It's not that simple, and that's exactly why we're going to be here for the next hour, breaking this down step by step. Unless you've ever been in an abusive relationship, you should not be giving people advice. It's not as simple as you think, and it's really important that, you know, safety is number one. Safety, safety, safety. Safety is number one. Oh, I see you guys are sharing some stories in the chat. That's awesome. Keep them coming. We're going to get through this together, and by the end of the stream, whether you're watching it now or live, or you're watching it later, you are going to have the complete roadmap to freedom, and we believe in you 100%. And if you guys ever need any support, feel free to reach out to us through the anonymous link. We are here for you. We have contacts with a few other groups, and we're gonna post. We have the National Abuse Hotline also that we put above in our live, so that way you guys have all the information. If you ever feel like you're stuck, you're not stuck. You're not stuck, and we're here for you. We love you, and we care about you. We've personally been through this, so we want to make sure that everyone has the information out there, has the community. They feel like they have the support to leave, because sometimes when you're there, it's really hard to leave because you feel alone. And we're here to tell you that you are not alone. You are not alone. We care. We do care. We love you, and we want to help you get out. All right. Monochrome, I'm so happy to have you guys here. That is amazing. Thank you so much for joining our live. So with some real talk, if you clicked on this stream, chances are you love us or you're in one of these three situations. Number one, you're currently in a toxic relationship and you know it, but you're stuck like a Windows computer trying to update, spinning, frustrated, and going absolutely nowhere. Number two, you just got out of a toxic relationship and you're here for that validation that yes, Karen, he was that bad, and no, you're not crazy for thinking his behavior was unacceptable. Or three, you're here because you love the drama and you want to feel better about your own relationship choices. And honestly, that's valid. We've all been there. So I can't say either way. No, we're not on Twitch yet, but I think we should. If you think we should chat, we should be on Twitch next time, please text in the chat. We're a little new to this, so I think it would be cool to go on Twitch. But if you think, chat, that we should be on Twitch, please let us know. Okay, so I'm seeing you guys are really excited, and I see some numbers in here. Oh, thank you, Kylie. Yeah, Twitch would be, yeah, definitely. We can definitely look into that. I see some of you are saying some number ones. Which ones are you guys? Are you guys in an abusive relationship right now? If you don't feel comfortable, that's fine. If you want to put a number 1 or 2 or 3, that's fine too. We just want to let you guys know that we're here for you. And we're going to fix this today. You're going to have the love and support to get through this today. And we're so excited to provide for you the love and support that we didn't have when we were younger. So we're going to fix that. So now before we get into this how-to, and we're going to talk about why leaving a toxic relationship is harder than canceling a gym membership. And trust me, we know how impossible that is. Anyone try to cancel a gym membership? Please let me know. Thank you, Kylie. Thank you, Kylie. Give some chat some time to respond. Canceling a gym membership is such a pain these days. Like, I don't know. Everything after COVID has just been, like, unbearable. But anyway, okay, so first off, relationships don't start toxic, right? Narcissists aren't narcissists right away. They want to, hide that. They'll start with love bombing. Remember our episode on that? I think that was one of our very first videos that we made, because this channel is something that's, like, very near and dear to our heart. So if you have not already, please check out our love bombing video that we made, our very first channel with our very first video. Please check it out. It was really good. And love bombing sounds amazing until it's not, and then there's nothing to back it up, and then they leave you to fall on your face. So if you don't know what love bombing is, quick side note, it's where they make you feel like you're the main character in the romantic comedy. They love you so much, and then slowly, like a software update you didn't ask for, right? The iPhone update, things start glitching, and then nothing works right? So by the time you realize that you're in an abusive relationship, you're already emotionally invested, right? And it's too late, because now you're financially entangled. You're probably questioning, right, your own sanity, because they've been gaslighting you harder than the 1950s street lamp. So I think that that's very difficult to leave, like once you're in a relationship like that and you've significantly invested so much time and money into this relationship. So for anyone that's like, oh, just leave. Sometimes you have kids. Sometimes you're debt thousands of dollars. Sometimes you don't have a family to go home to. It's not just as easy as just leave, especially if they're really abusive, not just verbally or emotionally, okay? So if you don't know what a toxic relationship is, we're gonna go through that first. So recognizing that you're in a toxic relationship. I know we're going through a lot of content right now. Usually my stuff's kind of funny, but I want to make sure that we get through this. And I want to make sure that you guys understand that this is very serious. And if you're in a toxic relationship, I hope that this helps you realize if you didn't know before. So if you're still with me, chat, please send some fire emojis in the chat. Let me know you're still here and you're not bored of me. And we're going to go through recognizing you're in a toxic relationship. Now, before we talk about leaving, right, we need to make sure that we're all on the same page about what constitutes as a toxic relationship, right? Because some of you might be sitting here thinking, well, he only yells at me when he's stressed. Honey, no. Just no. Okay? Honey, no. Let me break down the signs faster than your toxic ex broke your trust. Okay? Thank you, guys. Thank you, Monochrome. Thank you, Kylie. So glad that you guys are here. For any of the other viewers that are watching, thank you guys so much for joining. We hope you find valuable content. This is a topic that's near and dear to our heart, and we want to give you the information that we didn't have, so that way you can leave safely, because leaving is not as easy as leaving. So we want to make sure you have enough information to leave safely, okay? We care about you and we want to be here for you. Okay, so sign number 1 is the emotional manipulation Olympics, okay? They're competing for gold and making you feel crazy. They say things like, you're too sensitive, or that never happened, or my personal favorite, you're just like your mother, which, by the way, is fighting words in any household, am I right? So if you're unsure, then you're probably right. They probably are narcissists. We did do a video about narcissism on our page. So if you don't know about narcissisms, they're usually most of the time the ones that are abusive. You can check out our narcissist video as well. I think we posted that not too long ago. Number 2 sign that you're in a toxic relationship is the control freak special. They want to know where you are 24/7, who you're with, what you're wearing, probably what you had for breakfast, and the last time you took a you know what. It also starts as caring and ends as asking, you have to ask for permission to breathe. Like, boy, what? I had a friend whose boyfriend made her send photos of her outfits before she left the house. True story, guys. Not cute outfits for like confidence. Like, oh, do you like this? No, it was approval pics to make sure she wasn't attracting attention. Are you kidding me? Like, sir, this isn't a dress code committee, okay? You're not my mom or dad, and you're not gonna tell me what to do. And this is, you know, supposed to be a committed, healthy relationship. And I told my friend that, and she still thought it was totally normal. If he or she, because we don't judge, if he or she is trying to control your outfits and making you send pictures before you leave the house, that's mental. That's mental. Oh, hold on, chat. We just got a comment. For anyone that's watching live, we do respond to all comments, so please send us some fire emojis. We can get up in the YouTube algorithm. Send us your comments, or you can click the YouTube link that we send in for the anonymous link. Anyway, Monochrome, I hope I'm saying that right, sorry, says, real question really quick. How do I tell a parent that their lover is a narcissist without it sounding like I'm being mean? That's a really loaded question. That's a really deep, loaded question. First of all, people who are dating a narcissist don't even know that they're dating a narcissist, usually until it's too late. So that's the first question. My question to you before we answer that would be like, are you close with your parents? Like, do you have a good relationship with them? Or, because your relationship kind of depends on like how you would tell them. Like, can they handle it straight? Do you guys have a good relationship? Or is it like really strained, you know? Because I feel like that definitely affects what would be my response. Kylie says, have you ever tried telling your parent before? That's a good question. I would love to know that before I can give you kind of my answer. Okay, we're gonna give Monochrome a minute. If you're still here in the chat, please send us some fire emojis and let us know. We are asking Monochrome a question. They wanted to know, how do they tell their parent that their lover is a narcissist without it sounding like they're being mean? That's a really deep question. If you guys have any advice for Monochrome in the chat, let them know. They said, not anymore, because I caught them with another person romantically, and my other parent didn't believe me. Okay, let me get this straight, because it's crazy. Okay, so you're saying that you have... Is it both your parents? So you're saying that your parent is dating somebody, right? And that person, the narcissist, cheated on your parent? And you told your parent, but they didn't believe you? Am I following? Thank you guys so much for joining our live. We're so excited to be here. We have a loaded question really quick from Monochrome. We're gonna try to give them the correct advice. So I just want to make sure that I'm following it correctly, because that was a little bit loaded. The father, okay. So they're saying that they cheated and you tried to tell your other parent, right? And then they got upset because you told them. And now they're upset with you because you let them know about the cheating? Am I following? So your parent's partner was cheating and you found out and you tried to tell your parent, and then now they're upset with you? And so you're trying to tell your parents that they're a narcissist? Thank you guys so much for joining the chat. If you have any advice, you want to help me out and give Monochrome some advice, I just want to make sure I'm following it completely. Yay, we have some viewers. What's up, guys? I just want to confirm with Monochrome before I give my answer. Need to make sure I'm following the situation completely. Anyway, where are you guys watching from? We have one from Britain. We have someone from Detroit. Where are you guys watching from? And if you have not, you can click the YouTube link in our channel, or the anonymous link that we put for Google Docs. Yes, okay, perfect. Okay, that is terrible. That is terrible. Are they married? Or are they been dating for a while? I'm getting things worked on right now. Okay, no problem. We are here for you. I just wanted to understand if they were married. So they were married, or they've been together for a while, and then he or they cheated. My advice to you is, honestly, you can't change somebody and you can't make them believe you. So all you can do is say your piece, because you're not their parent, you know? They're your parent. So sometimes you just have to find peace in silence, honestly. So if you said your piece and you tell them, you know, hey, I just want to let you know, like, as your child, like, you know, I don't know your relationship with your parent, but I'm just going to assume how I would handle it with my parents. I would say, hey, I just want to let you know, like, I'm coming from a place of peace, and I want to let you know that the person that you're dating is a narcissist. They've made me uncomfortable if they've caused you any pain. And I want to let you know that, you know, I'm having a hard time with this because I'm seeing them cheat on you. And obviously you're my parent, I love you, and your happiness is important to me. And if you continue to, you know, to be in this relationship and you're accepting the abuse, then, you know, I love you, but I have to distance myself. And, you know, I'm not asking you, I don't think that you can really ask somebody to choose between you and them, unless, you know, it's like significant abuse and it's like a parent. But if they're like a grown adult's gonna do what they want to do, you know? And it's really hard cutting off a parent because you want that relationship, you know? So my best advice would be to tell them that, you know, the signs that you've seen, the evidence that you have, and you just leave it in their ball. You tell them that you're coming in a place of peace and that you love them very much, and it hurts you to see them being cheated on and struggling. And you're not going to keep bringing it up or talking about it, because sometimes it's just like this topic right now, you know, giving advice for someone to leave. Sometimes people aren't ready to leave, you know, and maybe as a parent, they know that the person they're dating is a narcissist and a piece of shit. And you're the child, so they don't want to admit that they're wrong or it's embarrassing, you know? So I think that you have to find peace within yourself and you have to let them know. Hopefully you don't live with them. Hopefully you are in a separate household, and hopefully you're in a safe place, and hopefully you don't have to deal with them on the daily, I hope. And you're able to, you know, say your piece without backlash, I hope. And you just leave the ball in the parents' court and let them know how you feel and move on from that. You know, because at the end of the day, you're an adult, I hope, and their parent is an adult, so they're going to make their own decisions. You can't change that person. You can't make them base their life choices off of you, you know? They're going to be in whatever relationship they want to be in, you know? So you just have to tell them how you feel from the bottom of your heart. You have the right to say your piece, and then you have to, you know, let them do what they're going to do, you know? Because the more, in my experience, in my opinion, and from the research that I've done, the more you push it and the more you keep telling them, the more that it's gonna put a strain on your own personal relationship, and the more that they're gonna go towards that partner. You know, it's kind of like an abusive relationship. If you keep saying he's abusive, he's abusive, he's abusive, you need to leave, you need to leave, you need to leave. Sometimes people get really scared and upset because they don't want to admit that you're right, so it pushes them more closer towards the abuser. And we don't want to do that. You know, you want to be the safe space where you're not nagging on them, you're not bitching on them, and you're telling them, hey, I love you, I'm here for you. When you're ready to leave, let me know. These are the resources that I have for you, and I just want to let you know that this is not okay. This person's a narcissist, this person's abusive, and when you're ready to leave, you know, I'm here for you, and I'm ready to help you get out. I hope that was helpful, Monochrome. I hope that was the answer that you're looking for. For anyone that's just now joining, we're doing a segment on how to leave an abusive relationship. And one of our viewers just asked a really good question about how to tell their parent that the person they're dating is a cheating narcissist. So I hope that this was helpful. Please let me know, Monochrome, if you have any more questions. Otherwise, we're going to dig into our next segment. Okay, I think we're recognizing that you're in a toxic relationship. Okay, so we talked about the sign 1 of emotional manipulation, and then we talked about the control freak special. I told you guys about my friend that had to take pictures about having to approve every outfit that she had, which was ridiculous. If you guys are in an abusive relationship and you want to send an anonymous submission, I'm going to go ahead and send you again in the chat. If you guys are too nervous to use your username, you can use the anonymous submission. If you guys have any questions, we respond to all comments. Anyways, we're moving on to the isolation station. So suddenly, all of your friends are bad influences, according to, you know, your abusive partner. Your family... your family's a bad influence. They don't understand your relationship, and somehow you've gone from having a social life to having a social death. You know, they'll say things like, why do you need friends when you have me? And because you're not a one-person entertainment system. Hello, Brad, we need variety in our life. Or Jessica, if you're into girls. The isolation station is probably one of the worst stages because it makes you feel really lonely, and then you end up depending on that person for everything, and then they treat you like crap on top of that. So that's also a problem. So isolation station is one of the worst ones. Moving on, the financial hostage situation. They either control all the money, or you're financially dependent on them in a way that really feels manipulative, or they're financially dependent on you. It could go either way. Either you can't buy a coffee without permission, which is crazy, or they can't buy a coffee without their credit card. Wow. But somehow it's always your fault when money's tight, right? Grow up. The walking on eggshells experience. This is a really big red flag. Has anyone ever been in a relationship, whether it's abusive or not, where you were dating someone and you had to walk on eggshells consistently? Please let me know in the chat. I'd love to hear from you guys. We want to put our psychology degree to use. If you've ever been in a relationship where you had to walk on eggshells, please let us know. Yes, even in friendships, that's true. Even in friendships, you know, you can be in an abusive friendship. I've seen some really mean girls. Some really mean girls. So if you're walking on eggshells in a relationship, you're constantly having to monitor your behavior and your tone and your facial expressions because you never know what's going to set them off. And also, side note, if you have to monitor your facial expressions, that's mental, okay? That's not okay, guys. You're basically living in an emotional landmine that looks like a person, like literally. I see. Thank you guys so much for joining. I see you guys in the chat commenting. My heart goes out to you. Recognizing that you're in an abusive relationship is the first start. So if you're joining right now and you're not sure if you're in an abusive relationship or not, we're here for you. We're going to give you the steps. We're going to give you the exact roadmap on how to get out. And we're going to be here for you all the way through. We were personally in a relationship, an abusive relationship, a long time ago. And we didn't have half the amount of support or help or information out there. So we want to make sure that that information is available to you guys, okay? All right, next is going to be the apology tour, a sign that you're in an abusive relationship. You are apologizing for things that aren't even your fault. You know, things that you didn't do, sometimes even for just existing. If you're saying, I'm sorry, more than a Canadian in a revolving door, we have a problem, people. We have a problem. Okay? Now, here's where it gets tricky. Toxic people are really good at making their behavior seem normal. They're professionals at it. Hey, Noctivist, thank you guys so much for joining. If you guys are here, I'm so glad to have you here. We're going through the roadmap on how to leave an abusive relationship, and right now we're going through the signs. So, you have to remember that usually people that are abusive are narcissists, and they're professionals at this, okay? So, this is where it gets tricky. Toxic people are so good at making their behavior seem normal. They'll say things like this. All couples fight like this. Or, you're just not used to someone that cares this much, baby. Or, I only act this way because I love you so much. You make me this way, right? If anyone's ever been in an abusive relationship or they were getting hit, they always blame you. You make me this angry. You made me do this. You. Right? Never taking accountability. So I'm going to translate that for you guys, okay? All couples fight like this. It's going to be, no, they don't. Healthy couples don't scream, throw things, or make each other feel worthless. And healthy couples also don't put their hands on each other, okay? Number 2, you're not used to someone who cares this much. Actually, no. Caring doesn't involve controlling, manipulating, or isolating, right? Also, I only act this way because I love you so much. Okay, love should not hurt, period. Okay, period, that's a full sentence. Love should not hurt, period. Okay? Now we're gonna go into the psychology of why we stay, right? Because in order to leave an abusive relationship, you need to know that you're in an abusive relationship. You need to recognize that you're in an abusive relationship to leave, okay? So now that we've established what toxic looks like, okay, we're going to talk about why smart, beautiful, capable, amazing people stay in these relationships, right? Because I know some of you are sitting here thinking, why didn't I just leave sooner? Or why can't they just leave? It's so simple, right? So first off, stop. Stop blaming yourself. Stop, okay? It's not your fault, okay? Toxic relationships are designed to trap you. And the people who create them are professionals at it. They love doing this. They get off on it, okay? Most of you guys won't even see it coming. So the trauma bond, this is a really big one. The trauma bond is basically the Stockholm Syndrome with like a romantic twist. The same person who hurts you is also the same person who comforts you afterwards, okay? I'm going to repeat that one more time. The same person who hurts you is also the same person who comforts you afterwards. It creates this addictive cycle where your brain gets confused on what love actually is, right? You guys have been through that? Send me some fire emojis in the chat. I hope that I'm not the only person that's been in an abusive relationship before. If you guys are still with me, I know I'm rambling on a lot. Usually I like to do a lot of funny things and sound effects and really make this live fun, but I feel like this is a really important segment that I want to touch on. So whether you're watching it live now or back later, I want to make sure you guys have all the important information, okay? So it's like if someone keeps punching you and then giving you ice cream, right? They're punching you, and then here's some ice cream. And then they're punching you, and then here's some ice cream, right? Eventually, your brain will start associating the punch with the ice cream, right? And then for some weird reason, your brain starts craving both. Except instead of the ice cream, right, it's affection. And instead of the punches, right, it's emotional abuse or actual punches. Okay? The sunk cost fallacy. You've invested so much time and energy and emotion into this relationship that leaving would admit that you were wrong, right? And leaving would admit failure. Some people, they just can't admit that somebody else was right. You know, their mom was right, the relationship was abusive. Their dad was right, their friend was right, the relationship was abusive. And they don't want to admit failure. So they'd rather stay in an abusive relationship than admit that they were wrong. And that's not okay. Leaving is okay. It's like staying in a movie theater for a terrible movie because you've already paid the ticket. Baby, leave. It's okay to go. It's okay to admit that you chose the wrong person. That's okay. Especially when they're narcissists. Narcissists don't show you that they're evil right away. It's very easy to get sucked into a narcissist, okay? Someone sent an anonymous submission earlier saying that they stayed in a relationship for 3 years because they didn't want to waste the 2 years that they'd already spent. Okay? Make that make sense. Honey, that's not wasting time. That's learning. Life is about learning. Learn from your mistakes. And the lesson that we're going to learn from this is leave sooner next time, okay? Thank you guys so much for joining. If you're still with me, please send me some fire emojis in the chat. I know I'm rambling on. I want to make sure you guys get all this really important information, okay? Next is going to be the hope addiction. Toxic people are really good at giving you just enough hope to keep you hooked, right? They'll have good days and they'll make promises and maybe even go to that therapy you want them to come with you for a week. And then suddenly you're like, oh my God, see, they can change. And then you feel like all the pain and the abuse was worth it because now they're changing, right? Wrong. Here's the reality check, okay? People can change, but they have to want to change for themselves, not because you're threatening to leave, okay? All the change has to be consistent, not just a performance to keep you around, because then it's not real and it doesn't last. Next is going to be the fear factor. Sometimes we stay because we're scared. We're scared of being alone. We're scared of starting over. We're scared of what they might do if we leave. And we're scared that we'll never find anyone to love us, you know? And I'm going to address these one by one. Scared of being alone? Being alone is better than being with someone who makes you feel alone when you're together. Being alone is better than being abused. Scared of starting over? Every ending is a new beginning, my friend. And you're not starting from zero. You're starting with experience and wisdom. That's important. Don't forget that. Don't forget what you've been through. Scared of what they might do? This is serious. And we'll talk about safety planning later before we end this stream. Are you scared that you'll never find anyone else? You will. And way better. But more importantly, you need to be okay with yourself first. You have to love yourself before you can love someone else. And that's why narcissists have such a hard time with this, you know, because they can't love anyone but themselves. So if a narcissist can love themselves, you need to love yourself as well first. The gaslighting effect. By the time you're thinking about leaving, you've probably been gaslit so much that you don't even trust your own judgment anymore. You're thinking things like, maybe I'm just too sensitive. Maybe I'm the problem. Maybe this is normal. Maybe it really is my fault. You know? Let me be very clear for everyone in the chat watching live and watching later. It is not your fault. And if you, my friend, are questioning whether you're in a toxic relationship, you probably are. Healthy relationships do not make you question your literal sanity. Noctivist said, oh my God, yes, I stayed because I didn't want to be alone. That's a really big factor. I also stayed because I didn't want to be alone. And it's really hard to leave. You know, nobody wants to be a single parent. Nobody wants to be alone. Nobody wants to get divorced. Nobody wants any of that. But sometimes leaving is the best thing that can happen to you, but you need to leave first. You know, it's no relationship is worth dying over. The intermittent reinforcement. Okay, this is psychology 101. We're going to put our degree psychology to work. It says the principle is what makes gambling addictive. Sometimes they're amazing. Sometimes they're terrible. You never know which version you're gonna get, and sometimes that's the actual high. You know? The unpredictability is what makes the good moments feel so much more intense and special, you know, which keeps you hooked, you know? That's what they say, like, being in love and lust is like a cocaine addiction, because that's how it makes your brain feel. It's like a slot machine that occasionally pays out just enough to keep you pulling the lever over and over and over, you know? Yes, Kylie, you're welcome. Thank you so much for spreading awareness. You're welcome. Monochrome, if you're still here, I hope that you're doing okay and that we answered your question. We didn't hear back from you, so I want to make sure that I answered your question. And if I didn't, please let me know. I would love to revisit it. I want to make sure that I give you all the information I can. Thank you guys so much for sharing your moments in the chat. Keep them coming. Your stories help other people realize that they're not alone. I think the problem is that it's being an abusive, especially these days, being in an abusive relationship is so much more common than people think. And so most people that are smart and beautiful never think it's going to happen to them, right? And then it does, and they're so embarrassed to ask for help and to leave, and they don't want to admit it. But it happens way more often than you think, and to way more people than you know. You know, and if more people knew about it and we spread awareness about it, then more people would be able to stand up and say, no, I'm not going to accept this, and no, this isn't okay, and no, I am going to leave, you know? Now, we're going to talk about preparing to leave, the mental game, okay? So now, if you've made it with me this far, thank you guys so much. If you recognize that you're in a toxic relationship and you understand why you stayed, and you understand now that you're ready to start planning your exit, but before we start getting to the actual practical stuff, we're going to have to work on your mindset, okay? I know. You need to accept that they're not going to change, okay? We need to have a conversation right now. You need to accept that they're not going to change, okay? You've seen glimpses of what they could be. You've had perfect moments where everything felt right. But here's the real hard truth is those moments aren't the real them. They're just clickbait, okay? They've shown you their real true self, and you need to accept that. And that's fine. They want to be that way. They want to act that way. That's fine. They're their own person. You deserve to be loved, and you deserve better, okay? People show you who they are through their consistent actions, right? Actions speak louder than their words. They're saying, I'm sorry I hit you. I'm sorry I choked you. I'm sorry I went through your phone. I'm sorry I contacted your family. I'm sorry, right? But what do their actions show you? Their actions show you they're still doing it. They did it. They're not sorry. You know? So it's not okay. People show you who they are through their consistent actions, not their occasional good behavior, right? If someone is consistently toxic with occasional moments of decency, right? They're a toxic person having a good day, not a good person having bad days. Welcome back, Monochrome. So happy to have you. Thank you guys so much for joining. If you guys are still here, send me some fire emojis in the chat. I know I'm talking a bunch. You said you're back, things went well. Did you talk to your parent? Give us an update. We'd love to know. So someone just sent an anonymous comment. They said, but what if they're going to therapy? Okay, that's a really good question. What if your abuser is going to therapy, right? Therapy only works if that person is genuinely wanting to change and is willing to do the work, not because you're forcing them. If they're only going because you threatened to leave, they're performing, okay? They're not healing, okay? So please remember that. They're gaslighting you. They're trying to do just enough to skate by, right? Just enough to skate by, but they're not actually gonna change, okay? You need to remember that. Kylie says, the unfulfilled promise is not to do it again. 100%. I'm sorry, right? Okay, so step one was we're going to accept that they're not willing to change. Thank you guys so much for joining. I hope you guys find valuable information from this. Step two is stop making excuses for them, okay? We need to retire the excuse factory, right? No more. I'm going to put on my angry face because this is really, really important. Angry face, right? Stop making excuses for them. We need to retire the excuse factory. No more, right? They had a rough childhood. Blah, 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 blah. They're just stressed at work. blah, 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 blah. They don't mean it when they're angry, blah, 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 blah. They're not usually like this, blah, 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 right? Everyone has trauma, okay? Everyone has stress. Not everyone becomes abusive. Their past explains their behavior, yes, but it does not excuse it, okay? If you guys are still with me here, send me some fire emojis in the chat. I want to make sure you guys are hearing me good and that you guys are getting some valuable information from this. Yep, Kylie says their anger is just their true colors, 100%. Okay, so number 3 is you need to reconnect with your support system that they cut off, okay? Remember those friends and family members you've been avoiding because your partner doesn't like them and now you're just too embarrassed to crawl back? It's time to reach out. I know it's scary and you might feel embarrassed or worried that they'll judge you. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to reach back out to your family, right? Because we're making steps and processes on how to leave, okay? Because we don't want to accept this anymore. Here's a sample script for reaching out. Hey, I know it's been a while and I want to let you know that I'm sorry for that. I'm really going through a hard time. I'm really going through a tough time and I could really use a friend. Are you free to talk? Okay? Most people who care about you will be relieved to hear from you and jump and be happy to help. Noctivus, blow emoji, the fire explosion, that works too, thanks. So listen, if you're too embarrassed to reach out to your family because you're too embarrassed to admit that you were wrong, everybody makes mistakes and learns through it. Your family members should love you and want the best for you. They should want you out. I know if I had a kid and they were in an abusive relationship, I would be so happy that my baby reached back out. You know? You never know. You don't want the last fight to be the one where they kill you, okay? So I'm going to read the script one more time. So for everyone that's watching live and later, you need to reach back out to your support system, whether it's a family member, a friend, a coworker, if you have a good relationship with your boss, somebody, you know, that you can trust. You can say, hey, I know it's been a while and I'm sorry for that. I'm really going through a tough time and I could really use a friend. Are you free to talk? Okay? Or you can reach out to us. We're here too. Most people, especially your friends and family, will be so happy to hear from you because they've been sick, worried about you, and they're happy to help, okay? Number 4 is start documenting everything. Remember, leaving is not as easy as people think it is, especially if there's children or family involved. You have to be very, very careful about how you leave and how you do it, okay? So these are the steps on how you leave and how to do it safely, okay? Remember, start documenting everything. This isn't just for legal reasons. Even though it may be useful later, okay? Documenting helps you remember what really happened when they try to gaslight you about it later. I was in a relationship when I was younger where I was beat. I was beat multiple times and I had bruises all over me, you know? And I was too scared to take pictures. I didn't want somebody to know I was being beaten. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to admit that you let somebody beat you, you know? It's embarrassing. But you know what? You need to take pictures, you need to document. So when you're being gaslit saying that it's your fault and you're sorry and all this crock of crap, you have those photos to remind how bad that hurt and how you felt like you were gonna die. And it's not okay. So you need to take pictures, not just for legal reasons, but for yourself to remember. You're not a victim, you're a survivor. And you're gonna survive this and you're gonna get out, okay? Keep a journal. Save screenshots of those texts. I'm gonna kill you. Record voicemails if it's legal in your state. Not to use against them, unless you have to, and you're allowed to, but to remind yourself of why you're leaving when they start love bombing you to come back, okay? Yes, you can save it, like Kylie says. Thank you. You can save it in hidden folders, okay? This is really important. You need to remember why you're leaving, because sometimes you leave, and then they suck you right back in. You need to remember why you're leaving and why you're not coming back, okay? Because your safety is number 1. Step 5, rediscover who you are. Toxic relationships have a way of making you lose yourself. You lose your self interest. You lose your anonymity. You lose everything. You've been so focused on managing their emotions and walking on eggshells that you've forgotten what you actually like and what you actually want and what you actually need. Yes, Kylie says send it to a trusted friend. Send the photos of your abuse to a trusted friend for sure. Start small. What's your favorite food? Not theirs, yours. What music do you like when no one else is around? What are your dreams and goals? What do you want for your life? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Do you see yourself being abused for the next 5 years? I hope not. What makes you laugh? What makes you happy? What do you like to do on your time off? You know? What do you like to do? I love seeing people in the chat rediscovering themselves, and I think that it's amazing that we have such a beautiful community, and we're going to help you get the strength to leave, because the narcissist, the abuser, they tear down your confidence, and you forget that you're a baddie, and that you can do this, and you can, and you will leave. Step 6, build your confidence back up. Toxic relationships are confidence killers, okay? They make you doubt everything about yourself. It's time to start building that back up. Start with affirmations. I know some people are like, oh my God, self-affirmations, like whatever. No, they work, okay? I know, they work, okay? I do them to myself now, because ever since leaving an abusive relationship, I need to remind myself what I will and will not accept. And I will not bend my boundaries, right? So say it with me, chat. Affirmation number 1 is, I deserve to be treated with respect. I want to see you guys type that in the chat. This self-affirmation, we're going to do it online. Whether you're watching it now or later, you're going to tell yourself right now, I deserve to be treated with respect, okay? That's really important. I deserve to be treated with respect. Number 2, my feelings are valid, okay? My feelings are valid. Number 3, I am worthy of love, okay? You are worthy of love, okay? Don't ever think that you're not and that you deserve this abuse and disrespect, because you don't. I can trust my own judgment. You know how everyone says, like, the gut, trust your gut? You know in your gut that it's wrong. If you're watching this right now and you know in your gut that the relationship is wrong, then you're in an abusive relationship and you need to watch this and you need to leave. If you feel it in your gut that you are in an abusive relationship, then you probably are and you need to leave. We care about you and we want you to leave safely. You are worthy of love, okay? And start doing things that make you feel capable and strong again. Start small. Learn a new skill. Go out and exercise. Going to the gym always makes me feel better about myself. Now, don't get me wrong. I hate going to the gym. I literally hate going. But once I'm there and I get into my workout, I'm like, man, why do I do this to myself? I like going. I like feeling better about myself. And then I go home, and then the next day I'm like, I don't want to go to the gym. Ugh. You know, and I'm like, I just don't want to wake up early. I don't want to do this. But then I go to the gym and I'm like, man, I feel really good about myself, you know? Get yourself out of that rut. Force yourself to do it. You're stronger than what you think you are, okay? You're a survivor. You're not a victim. You are a survivor, and you will get through this. And being a victim does not define you. You are a survivor. Learn a new skill. Accomplish a small goal. Remind yourself that you are smart, you are competent, and you are capable, and you deserve to be treated with respect, okay? Step 7, visualize your life after. This is crucial. You need to have something to move forward toward, okay? You need to have something to move toward, not just something to move away from, okay? You need a goal, okay? What does your life look like without this person, okay? We're going to start small. Where do you live, okay? Where do you live? Where does your new routine, your daily routine look like? Who are you spending time with? What are you doing for fun? How do you feel when you wake up in the morning? You know? The freedom that you're going to have. The freedom of peace that you're going to have, you know? Do a vision board, write it in a notebook. Keep it safe, of course. Make it as detailed as possible. You need to visualize your vision. This will keep you motivated when things get really tough, okay? You need to have a plan, and you need to visualize your life afterwards. If you're watching this right now, I'm so glad that you're here, okay? And if you're in an abusive relationship, I want you to know that you're not alone, and I'm going to give you the exact steps on how to get out, okay? Thank you guys so much for joining. You need to visualize your life after the abusive relationship. Where do you want to live? Where are you going to go? You know? Are you going to keep your job? Are you moving jobs? What are you doing? You need to have a detailed list so that you know and you're prepared, okay? All right, now we're going to go through the practical exit strategy, okay? We're getting down into the nuts and the bolts of this. This is where we need to think about actually leaving to plan your escape, because it is an escape and you need to do it right. You need to be safe. And I said escape because that's what it is. You're escaping, okay? Financial independence, okay? Operation, get your money right, okay? If you guys are listening, this is important. Please listen up. First things first, money. I don't care if it sounds unromantic or calculating. I don't care how rude that sounds. I don't care. You need to be safe and you need financial independence to leave safely. First things first, okay? You need to open up your own bank account. If you don't have one already, you need to open up a bank account in your name at a different bank than one that you currently use. That's really important, okay? Because if your spouse or partner banks at the same bank, it's very easy for them to find out, especially if you're married. Do not mix up the same bank because statements might get mixed up or they might be able to get access somehow. Do not, okay? Open up your own bank account, step one. Or you can also use a P.O. box or a trusted friend's address for statements, okay? You need to be very, very smart about this. This is a very calculated escape, okay? Because safety's the most important. Start putting money in there regularly, even if it's just $20 a week. Every little bit counts, okay? You're not going to get a bunch of money and leave right away. Because if you're in this relationship, it's because, you know, you're probably financially stuck. So we want to make the proper arrangements to be able to do this properly, okay? Step 2, build your emergency fund, okay? You need enough money to survive at least 3 months without them, okay? This includes first and last month's rent and security deposit for a new place, unless you're blessed enough to be able to stay with somebody else, you know, which is also a blessing, or you can go back with family. But if you don't have anyone, first and last month's rent and security deposit for the new place, okay? You're going to need moving expenses, basic necessities, like food, toiletry, clothes, transportation. Do you have a car? Is the car in their name? These are questions that you need to have the answer to. Transportation. Do you need transportation? Do you have reliable transportation? Can somebody help you out? And you need to get a phone bill in your own name. Change your number. Okay? I'm going to say it one more time. Change your number. Okay? Change your number. Get your own phone plan. Change your number. I know this sounds like a lot, and I know this is overwhelming, but you don't have to do it all at once. You need to start small and build up. Jeff Bezos didn't build Amazon overnight. He built it out of his freaking garage, okay? And now he's like a billionaire. So if you're gonna leave, you're gonna start small, okay? And you're gonna start small, and you're gonna be successful too. You can do it. I believe in you. I love you, and you can do it, okay? Step 3, get control of your credit. Make sure that you pull a credit report and you make sure there are no accounts that you didn't open. Narcissists and abusers are known for opening bank accounts in other people's names. Okay? It happened to me too. If your partner has access to your credit cards and your bank accounts, you need to start making silent movements to change that, okay? You need to make sure that you make silent movements to start removing them from those things. It's very hard to kick them off once they know you're trying to kick them off and they're angry, right? It happened to my friend where she was on a car loan with somebody and it turned into this whole situation. It's on her credit report. Now she's like 10 grand in the hole. So you need to make sure you start making these small silent movements to get them off, okay? If you're married and you have joint accounts, consult with a lawyer about the best way to handle this. I know that there's free legal aid out there for abusive relationships. You need to find one in your state or your county. If you're having trouble, you can send us a message. We'd love to help you. You might not be able to close a joint account, but you can try to remove your name from some of these things, okay? Number 4, secure important documents. You need copies of your birth certificate, your social security card, your passport, your driver's license, insurance policies, medical records, financial documents, any legal documents. This is important because I had a friend that tried to leave an abusive relationship and he ripped up her birth certificate because he found out she was trying to leave. And it's really hard to get your birth certificate and then to be able to get your social security card, and it's a very complicated process. You want to have all of those documents in a safe, secure place. Give them to someone. You can keep them safe in a safety deposit box with a trusted friend or in a secure cloud storage account so they don't have access to it. You can make copies, okay? I'm going to pause real quick for the chat. Make sure you guys are still with us. If you guys have any more questions, please send them to the chat. We would love to answer them. We just got an anonymous submission that says, someone's asking about what to do if their partner controls all the finances. Okay, well, first of all, that's financial abuse and it's very serious. So what you need to do is you need to contact the National Domestic Violence Hotline. They have resources for financial safety planning. I did put the phone number in the 1-800-799-SAFE. 1-800-799-7233. Because if somebody's controlling the finances, that's financial abuse and they're keeping you from leaving. That's not okay. Monochrome says it's even worse situation. I'm in Britain. I'm so sorry. I really am. Like, my heart goes out to you. It's so hard to leave, but I promise you, once you leave, you feel so much better. But it's getting through, like, the part where you don't want to go to the gym and you force yourself, and then once you go and you get there, you feel so much better about yourself. And you're like, why didn't I just go earlier, you know? You're going to feel so much better about yourself when you leave. And you'll probably be a lot safer too, okay? We're going to move on to the next segment. It's housing. Operation Find Your New Home, okay? Option 1. Is this an option for you? Stay with friends or family. This is probably the safest and cheapest option, at least temporarily. Don't be too proud to ask for help. People love you. People want to help you get out of a bad situation, okay? Some people might not even know how bad it is because narcissists and abusers are so good at hiding it behind doors, okay? People love you and they want to help you, okay? Option 2, find your own place. Start looking at apartments. Start looking at rooms for rent. Start looking at other housing options in your price range, right? You need to start looking. You need to be prepared. This isn't a leave that's going to happen overnight, and that's okay. You might need to downsize significantly, rent a room, okay? And that's okay. Starting over is okay, okay? Starting over is okay. Even if it's just in a room with a mattress on the floor or no mattress, but you got out and you are safe, and that's all that matters, okay? A small, safe space is way better than a big, toxic one, okay? Option 3, transitional housing. If you don't have friends or family, option 3, transitional housing. If you can't afford your own place immediately, look into transitional housing programs. Many cities have these specifically for people leaving abusive relationships. Something I want to tell everyone, when I left my abusive relationship, I went to the shelter. There was nowhere for me to go. I didn't have supportive parents. I didn't have friends. I really didn't have anybody. It was really difficult. And I did go to the shelter, and it was sucky, I'm not gonna lie. But it was a step that I needed to leave, and I left. And then I worked while I stayed at the shelter, and I saved up money until I got enough to leave, and I got my own little place. And I stayed at the shelter for a few months. And you know what? Staying in that shelter gave me more independence than staying in the nice house that I had with my abuser. So I want you guys to remember, like, yes, going to a shelter sucks. Yes, moving back in with your parents suck. Yes, staying with your friends suck. It's embarrassing. But you know what's not embarrassing? Leaving. Asking for help. That's not embarrassing. You need to do it because your safety is more important. And I don't regret it. I went to shelter. I worked my butt off. I saved up money. I left. And I'm safe and I'm alive to have this conversation here with you. You know, if I had stayed, he would have killed me. He would have killed me. He tried to. You know? Abusers don't want you to leave because who are they going to abuse when you leave? You know? They have to start the whole process all over again, and they'd rather just suck you in. So please, 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 please remember this. It's okay to leave. It's okay to stay in a shelter. It's okay to rent a room off the floor. It's okay to stay on someone's couch. You need to leave, okay? If you're dead, you can't do anything, and you don't let yourself get to that situation. Don't let it go that far. You need to leave. Do not let pride stop you from using these resources. They exist exactly for the situation, and there's no shame in asking for help, okay? Housing safety considerations. Do not let them know where you're going. Oh, F you, I'm going to my parents. Oh, I'm going to my friends. I'm gonna go to the shelter. Do not let them know anything, okay? If it's bad enough, consider getting a restraining order if there's been any violence or threats. Something that I do want to say, it's very hard to get a restraining order these days. I don't know why. I really don't. I couldn't tell you. It's really disappointing. The court system's really disappointing. So this is why you need to document, take pictures of the abuse, save the screenshots, save the voicemail, save all of that. So when you go in with your restraining order, you have everything for the judge, okay? Change your address with the post office. You know, change your address on your driver's license too. Then you can change your new address later, you know? And then if you're close with your neighbors or anyone, you know, at your job or whatever, you need to let them know, hey, do not give information out about me. I had a friend who was working at somewhere. I think she was working for T-Mobile or something like that. And her ex had come in and asked if she was working that shift. And she didn't tell anyone that her ex was abusive or whatever. And so the stupid coworkers told them, oh, yeah, she's off today. She'll be here tomorrow, and told them her schedule. You know? That's terrible. So if it's that bad, you need to tell people. Please do not release my schedule. Do not tell people information about me. You know, my safety is important. Please, please, please do not give out information about me. Say she doesn't work here. You need to let your boss know, you know, because people and stalkers are crazy, okay? Legal preparation, operation, cover your bases, okay? Consult with a lawyer. Even if you're not married, it's worth talking to a lawyer, especially if you own property together. If you guys have children together, if you guys have joint debts, or and you're concerned about your safety. Many lawyer offices offer free consultations, and there are also legal aid societies that help with people with limited income, especially single moms, to reach out to survivors of domestic abuse. So I put the hotline, and you need to document everything. I mentioned this earlier, but I'm going to repeat it again. Keep records of the abusive incidents, dates, times, what happened, threatening messages, voicemails, photos of any injuries with property damage. You know, my ex, he was trying to prevent me from leaving and calling 911. He smashed my phone, and then he broke the mirror, my side mirror on my car. I took pictures, and then when I called the police, they saw that, you know, he had broke my phone and then ripped the mirror off. So he was charged with obstructing justice for preventing me from calling 911, because that's a crime. And then also for damage of property, and then, you know, punching me. So you need to make sure that you document everything, okay? Photos of any injuries, property damage, witness statements if you have anyone. Witness statements, neighbors, people outside, whatever. You have to do what you have to do. This is survival, okay? You need to get out. Medical records if you saw treatment. If you got beat up and you need to go to the hospital, go to the hospital. Have it on file. Like, you went to the hospital because you were abused, because you got a black eye. You need to have it documented. Restraining orders. If there's been physical violence, threats, or stalking, consider getting a restraining order. This process varies by state, but generally you can go to your local courthouse and file for one. I did it. It was a lot of paperwork. It was a little bit difficult, but I'm glad I did it, and I did get one. So do not wait until after you leave. You need to get one while you're still living together if necessary. You have to do what you have to do, okay? This is about you being safe. This is not about them. Nobody cares about them. This is about you leaving safe and not leaving in a body bag, okay? This is huge, and a lot of people don't think about it. Your phone, your computer, your social media can all be used to track and harass you, okay? I was dumb. I was really dumb, and I thought that, you know, yeah, my ex was abusive, but I never thought that he would hack my stuff and lock me out of all my emails and my bank and everything. And he did, and they will. So you need to remember phone security. Change all of your passwords to something they don't know. Don't change it to your pet's name, your birthday, you know, whatever. Change it to something that they don't want to know. Side note, we've been using Dashlane. I would definitely recommend it. I think they have like a free for up to like a few passwords. So use Dashlane. It generates like random letters and numbers, so that way you can keep your stuff safe, especially if your ex is so angry. They're going to try everything to lock you out. Check for tracking apps on your phone or your car. I had a friend that had a tracker on the back of her tire. And that was really terrible, and she did call the police. So please, 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 please do not think they won't do it. Yes, they will. Okay? You need to get a new phone number and a new phone, too, just in case. Turn off your location sharing. Okay, this is really big. Sure, you want to have your location for Snapchat, and you want to have your location for your friends. Turn it off. Okay? Turn it off. Only share it with people that are your trusted circle. Okay? Do not have your location on Snapchat for other people to see. Because you don't know. I think that a lot of people underestimate that the abuser has friends. Okay? And it's really sad when you speak up about your abuse, because the people that are friends with them will be like, oh, they would never do that, or they think that you're the crazy ex, and they'll say, oh yeah, I saw Jessica, she was over here, you know? Her location said this, and they just outed you. So you need to make sure you're very careful about your location sharing, okay? Review your privacy settings on all your apps. Okay, next is going to be social media cleanup, okay? Change all your passwords. Review who has access to your accounts. Make sure their email's not backed up to it, because, you know, they could have added themselves on your Gmail account as a backup email, because that happened to me. So double check your email account to see who's your backup email account. Make sure it's not them. And if it is, delete it. Block them on everything. Check all of your tagged photos and posts. Delete, delete, block, 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 okay? Yes, it sucks. You do it and you move on. You have so much more to live for, okay? Your email and cloud storage. Change your passwords with that. Change who has access to shared documents. More important, move more important documents to a new account that they don't know about. Make a new email. They can't hack your email if they don't know your new email, okay? All right, I'm gonna take a pause real quick. Make sure you guys are still with me in the chat. If you guys can send me some fire emojis. I wanna make sure you guys are still here. I'm so glad that you guys are here. I hope I'm giving you valuable information. We're almost finished. I wanna make sure you guys have all the important information, whether you're watching live or later, that you guys have all the information to leave safely. Thank you guys. Okay, so next is gonna be, we just got another anonymous question. What if we shared streaming accounts and stuff? That's a great question. Thank you for sending that. Change those passwords too. Yes, they'll notice, but who cares? Your safety is more important than them losing access to Netflix, okay? All right, the support team. Operation Build Your Army, okay? You cannot do this alone, and you shouldn't have to. You need to start building your support team now, okay? It's hard to leave an abusive relationship if nobody knows and they can't help you, okay? So you need to tell your inner circle. These are people who know everything and are helping you keep a plan. Keep this group very, very small. Especially, don't tell them if they're friends with if they're friends with your abuser, okay? Practical support. These are people who can get you specific things. Someone who can get a moving truck. Someone who has a pickup truck. Leave with minimal things, okay? Someone who can let you stay with them temporarily until you figure it out. That's okay too. Someone who can help with childcare if needed. Someone who can be your emergency contact if, things go down. Thank you guys so much for sending the fire emojis in the chat. I really appreciate you guys. This, the emotional support is you need to have these people to call and talk to when you're having doubts or feeling scared and you're having second thoughts, These friends and family will remind you why you're leaving. Friends and family members who love you unconditionally. A therapist or a counselor or support groups online or in person, aka also us, because we do care. We've been there and we want to give you the confidence and support to leave. Also, professional support. A lawyer, a therapist, a doctor, financial advisor if your situation is really complex. Safety planning. Next is going to be Operation Stay Alive. This is the most important section, especially my friends, if there's been any violence or threats, okay? Number 1, you need to create a safety plan. Identify safe places you can go. Friends, family, shelter, your immediate go-to place, okay? Keep a bag packed with essentials hidden somewhere, okay? You need to be ready to go when it happens. Keep a code word with your friends and family that means call for help. Please, that's so important. Call for help is your code word. Code word like blueberries or banana or sky, Text them that word they know in advance. Call 911, get help. Plan your route out of the house. You're prepared. Make sure you can get out through the window. You leave that window unlocked, You need to be prepared. You need to be smart about this. Keep important phone numbers memorized, not just in your phone. In my situation, my ex smashed my phone. I couldn't call my parents. I had everybody on speed dial. I didn't remember my parents' name. It was a really bad situation to be in. So that's why you need to remember those important phone numbers memorized in your brain. So you know who to call and when to call. And you remember their phone number, okay? The go bag. Keep this somewhere they won't find it. Keep it at work. Keep it with a friend. In your car. Make sure your go bag includes, okay, cash. Important documents, copies, any medications, if you have medications, anxiety, depression, or high blood pressure, I have all of those. Change of clothes, phone charger, keys to your car. Please, if you have a spare set of keys, you need to hide those. Okay, hide them somewhere new, especially keys to your house. Hide all of that. Next, if you have children, include their important documents, social security card, birth certificate. Pack their clothes and comfort items for them. Hide it in a bag. You need to talk to their school, okay? And let them know who is allowed to pick them up and who is not. You need to consider their safety in your planning. They are also very important. Sometimes you won't know when you're leaving until it really happens, so you need to be prepared with all of this. Leaving is not just simple as running out through the back door, because that's how you get sucked in to come back. We want to leave, and we want to leave for good. Warning signs: leave immediately, okay? Warning signs to leave immediately. Threats of violence against you or your children. Escalating violence. Threats of suicide, theirs or yours. Stalking behavior. Destruction of your property. Any behavior that makes you fear for your life. That's when you need to leave immediately. Okay, now we need to talk about the actual breakup. Now you've done the work. You've done the prep work. You've got your ducks in a row. You have your support team assembled to the best of your abilities. You have the best exit plan strategy, because there's no perfect plan. Now comes the hard part, actually having the conversation, okay? Timing is everything. Only you know your situation, okay? When to have the conversation? When you're both calm. Not during or right after a fight. That's the worst time to have that. That's when everyone's hyped up and ready to go, okay? You need to have the conversation when it's time to talk without interruption. You need to have somewhere safe to go immediately after this conversation, okay? You need to have your support team on standby, ready as soon as you have this conversation, okay? When not to have this conversation, when they're high or drunk, do not do that. When they're already angry about something else, do not do that. When you're trapped somewhere with them, do not do it. When you don't have your safety plan in place and you're ready to go, do not have the conversation. Okay, I've made you some scripts that you can use. Edit them how you need. If you're watching live now or watching later, please let me know in the chat if you use any of these scripts and if they were helpful for you, okay? Here's the thing about breakup conversations with toxic people. We've done a few videos on this as well. They're not going to go like normal breakups, so you need to get that out of your head. They're going to try every manipulation tactic in the book to get you to stay. You need to remember that they're professionals at this. They love to do this. Okay? You need to stay strong and you need to have a clear mind. Script example 1. Hey, I've made the decision to end our relationship. This isn't up for negotiation or discussion. It's something I've decided, and I want to let you know I'm moving out on X date and we will not be in contact after that. Please respect my boundaries. Keep it clear, short, and final. Don't give them ammunition to argue with, okay? Now, remember what not to say. Maybe we can work things out later. No. You never do this, and that's why I'm leaving. You always do this, and that's why I'm leaving. Don't do that, because now you're giving them something to argue about. And your decision is final, my friends. Do not say, I'm leaving and I need space to think, because that implies you might come back, and you're not going back. Do not say, it's not you, it's me, and I need to leave. Because now they're going to use that to manipulate you. Okay? And you don't want to have a conversation about you leaving. It's not up for a debate. You leaving an abusive relationship is not up for a debate. You're leaving, it's a fact, it's a statement, ends with a period, and you're leaving. That's it. What they'll probably say and how to respond is, but I love you. Your response is, love isn't enough. I need to be treated with respect. They'll say, I'll change, I promise. Your response, you've had enough opportunities to change. I'm not willing to wait anymore. They say, you're making a huge mistake. Response, that's my decision to make. You'll never find anyone better. Response, I'd rather be alone than treated badly. What about everything we've been through? Response, that's exactly why I'm leaving. So if someone asks what to do if they start crying or having a breakdown, this is manipulation. Don't fall for it. You can acknowledge their feelings without changing your decision. I understand you're upset, but my decision is final. Okay, we just got a comment from Monochrome. It says, this might sound weird, but what is a normal breakup like? Please feel free to answer when you're done talking about this. No problem. We can answer it now. It's no problem. So your question is, what is a normal breakup like? Is that your question? Like a healthy breakup, is that what you're asking? Are you asking about What does a healthy, normal breakup look like? Thank you guys so much. We're almost finished. I know we went a little over time today, but I had a lot of important information and I didn't want to cut any of the steps out. So whether you're watching live or you're watching later, you have every single step. You have all the information. You have the abuse hotline. You have me. Okay, Monochrome says, yes, I've only been in one so far. Okay, so in a normal breakup, in my experience and from my learning, in a normal breakup, there should be no blaming or name calling. There's gonna be pain. It's gonna hurt you. Imagine with them. You know, I'm sure you spent time, money, invested into this relationship, but you're not gonna be humiliated. You're not gonna be stalked or manipulated or degraded. You're just sad and heartbroken. And that's normal and that's okay. You're gonna have a conversation about the breakup that involves a real conversation without, you know, being beaten up. One person explains or both why it may be ending, and you may agree, you may not, but you get some closure. You guys are going to have a normal conversation about how to split things up. You both feel loss, even if only one initiated it. It's usually mixed with, you know, heartbrokenness and sadness, but you should have some level of respect for each other, that, you know, you don't wish evil upon them, you know. And a healthy breakup means that you need to give each other space to move on. It's not constant texting, showing up uninvited, or re-hooking up every time one of you are lonely. A normal relationship breakup is not ghosting. It's not revenge. It's not on again, off again roller coaster. It's not a hookup after you guys break up. It's not a I hate you one day, I love you the next. And it's not about proving who's more right or wrong. You know, a normal breakup hurts, but it doesn't destroy you. It makes room for growth and healing and eventually something better. I hope that helps. I don't know if it's necessarily normal to stay friends, quote unquote, with your ex, but you should definitely be in, like, quote unquote, good terms. You know, you should be able to end peacefully for a healthy relationship. That's what I would say. If you guys have any more questions in the chat, please feel free to send us a question. Otherwise, we have a few more segments we're going to end in our how to leave an abusive relationship. If you have not already, please hit like to our live. Please hit subscribe so you don't miss any of our content. Monochrome, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. And I hope that I was able to give you some valuable information with my degree. Hopefully you found some value in that information, and I really wish you the best. And I'm so glad you're here, and I can't wait to see you next Tuesday too. Okay, we have a few more steps in our how to leave an abusive relationship that we're gonna finish up. Unless you guys have any more questions in the chat, I'd love to answer them. Okay, so you need to expect the manipulation playbook from your narcissist abuser when you're trying to leave. They're gonna pull out all the stops because now they realize you're leaving. Here's what to expect. The love bomb comeback. Suddenly, they're the person you fell in love with again. They're sweet, attentive, promising the world. My friends, this is not real. It's the performance of a lifetime to get you back. Don't forget that. The guilt trip express. How can you do this to me? I can't live without you. You're destroying our family. I'm sorry. No, this is manipulation, emotional manipulation designed to make you feel like it's your fault. No, do not accept that. The anger explosion. When love bombing and guilt tripping don't work, then they're gonna start getting angry. They might yell, they might throw things or say horrible things about you. This is exactly why you need a safety plan. Noctivus says, my ex played the guilt tripping. 100%. They don't want to be accountable for their behavior, so they want to guilt trip you about leaving and how you're going to destroy the family and how you can't just, you know, work it out, blah, 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 blah. There was a time and place for that. That ship's long sailed. It's time for you to leave, okay? If you're watching this and you're in an abusive relationship, I hope that you find value in this video and content, and you find the strength and steps to leave. We are here for you. We love you, and we want you to leave safe. We don't want you leaving in a body bag. You need to leave. If you ever think that someone abusive won't kill you, nobody goes out being in an abusive relationship thinking that they're going to be killed. Nobody. Until it happens to them. Okay? Please remember that. The bargaining phrase. What if we go to counseling? What if I move out for a while? I'm sorry. What if we take a break? These are all ways to avoid the finality of the breakup, okay? The threater. I'll hurt myself if you leave. I'll make sure you never see the kids again. I'll ruin your reputation. These are serious threats that you need to take seriously and report if necessary. Okay. Stay strong. This is psychological warfare and you need to be prepared. This conversation is going to be hard. They know exactly which buttons to push to make you doubt yourself. Here's how to stay strong. Okay? Remember your why. Remember, we told you to document. Before the conversations, write down all the reasons why you're leaving. Keep a list with you and read it if you start to waver. Okay? If you guys are still with me, please send me some fire or bomb emojis in the chat. I really appreciate it. We're almost done. Remember your why. Before the conversation, you need to write down all your reasons, okay? So that you know why you're leaving and you're not gonna get weak, okay? Bring backup if you have to. If it's safe to do so, have this conversation with a friend nearby or on the phone. Sometimes having a witness to this helps things from getting too out of control. Narcissists don't like to let other people see their abusive tendencies, right? They put on a fake for everyone else, so that way you seem crazy. So if you need to do this with backup, bring backup, okay? Set a time limit. I have 30 minutes to talk about this, and then I'm leaving. You're not going to tolerate a whole conversation for hours because you need to leave. You don't have time for that. Don't jade, okay? What's don't jade? It's don't justify, argue, defend, or explain. You don't owe them a detailed explanation why you're leaving. They already know. This relationship isn't working for me is enough, my friends. Okay, the immediate after fact. Get out. Do not stick around to talk more or to work things out. Leave immediately after the conversation, okay? Go to your safe place. Wherever you've planned to go, your friend's house, your family's house, a hotel, the shelter, wherever. Don't go somewhere where they can find you easily. Activate your support team. Call your people. Let them know when it's done and how you're feeling. You're going to need an emotional support. It's very hard to leave unless you have emotional support. Block them everywhere. Don't even think about it. Phone, social media, email. Block them on everything. Do not give them ways to contact you and manipulate you into coming back. They manipulated you the whole relationship. They're gonna manipulate you to come back. You need to leave and block them. Thank you guys so much for being here in this live. I really appreciate it. I poured my heart out for this live segment. I hope you guys are finding valuable content out of this. I love you guys so much. Okay, dealing with the aftermath after you leave. Congratulations, you did it. You had all the conversations and you're out. But here's the thing that nobody tells you. Leaving is just the beginning. The aftermath is just as challenging as the relationship itself, okay? The emotional roller coaster can last for a few weeks of relief and panic. You might feel relieved that it's over, but now you're panicked and scared about what comes next. Listen, my friends, that's normal. You've just made a huge life change. Give yourself some patience, please. Next few weeks after that, your doubt starts to creep in. Maybe I was too harsh. Maybe they would have really changed. Maybe I made a mistake. I think I miss them. No, this is your trauma bond talking, not reality. Month 2 to 3 starts the loneliness. Even when the relationship was terrible, you might feel lonely. You got used to having someone around, even if they were toxic. Loneliness doesn't mean you made the wrong choice, okay? It's okay to be lonely. It's okay to be lonely and safe. Month 4 to 6 is healing. This is where you start feeling like yourself again, okay? You remember what it's like not to walk on eggshells. You start enjoying things again. They're gonna try to come back, okay? You need to remember, they will try to come back. Noctivus says, yes, the trauma bond. Yes, they're gonna try to come back. Here's what's probably gonna happen. They're gonna try to get you back a lot. And they're gonna keep going and they're gonna keep going. Because they don't respect you and they don't respect your boundaries. And they're going to be really strategic about it, okay? So I'm telling you this so you can be prepared. Number 1, the immediate panic response. Usually days 1 to 7. Constant calling, texting, showing up places. How dare you? They're going to send flowers. They're going to write letters. Get mutual friends to talk to you. Hey, can you pass this message? Just let her know I love her and I miss her. I'm sorry. Stay strong. This is desperation, not love. Number 2, the anger phase, week 2 to 4 or so. When the panic doesn't work, then they're going to start getting angry, okay? Mean texts, social media posts about you, trying to turn people against you. Document everything and don't respond. Stay strong, my friends. Okay, now they're going to go to a strategic retreat, month 2 to 3 or so. They're going to disappear for a while, making you think that they moved on. This is often a strategy to make you miss them or worry about them because now you're wondering what they're doing. Who cares? Move on. The grand gesture, month 3 to 6. This is when they're going to pull out all the big guns, okay? Remember, trauma bond, public declarations of love, showing up at your work, dramatic gestures. This is all manipulation, okay? Next is going to be the new person tactic. I've seen this a million times. If you've seen the new person tactic, please let me know in the chat. I want to know I'm not the only one. Say they've started dating someone very new publicly, trying to make you jealous and pretend that they've changed. Or they might claim they changed because of this new person that they're dating. You know, they couldn't change for you, but now they changed for them. Do not fall for it, okay? Kylie says, leaving them alone forever is the best revenge that they did to you. 100%. That's perfect because we're moving on to staying on to no contact, okay? No contact means no contact. Not just this once or just until I get closure. I just want to see how they're doing. No. No means no and no contact. Here's why. Okay, it's important. Please listen. Here's why. Every contact resets the clock. Think of getting over them like detoxing from a drug. We did a video on this, so please check out our channel about how love is like a drug in your brain and it makes you do crazy things. This is real scientific stuff. Please check out our video. Anytime you have contact, you're taking another hit of that love drug and you're starting the withdrawal process over, and it is very hard. They compare it to cocaine addictions. It's very hard, okay? They'll use any opening to get into you. If you respond to 1 out of 100 texts, then they learn that they need to send 100 texts more to get a response. You're actually training them to harass you more. Don't do it. You need closure from them. Closure comes from within. You don't need them to validate your position or apologize for their behavior, okay? How to maintain no contact. Block them on everything, okay? Don't check their social media. Block them there too. Don't ask mutual friends about a workplace. Don't drive by their house or their workplace. Don't care. Don't respond to any attempts at contact. Go cold turkey, okay? Someone just sent me an anonymous submission. They said, someone's asking about what to do if you have kids together. Okay, well, that's more complicated. You might need to go low contact instead of no contact. There are co-parenting apps to keep all communication about kids only, and consider having a third party facilitate exchanges or exchanges at the police department. I know they do that as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so glad you're here. We're talking about how to leave an abusive relationship safely. If you have any comments, questions, please let us know in the chat. We're here for you. Okay, rebuilding your life and rediscovering your identity. You've been so focused on managing their emotions that you've lost touch with who you are. Start exploring. What did you actually enjoy doing before? What are your values and beliefs? What are your goals and dreams? What kind of person do you want to be? Rebuild your social life. Toxic relationships often isolate you from friends and family. It's time to rebuild those connections. Be happy. Reach out to old friends. Join a club or a group based on your interests. Say yes to social invitations. Go to church, the gym. Be patient. It's not going to happen overnight. It takes time to rebuild trust and heal from the abuse because your body's in survival mode. You feel like you can't trust anybody. It's going to take time. Focus on your physical health. Toxic relationships are stressful. They take a toll on your body. I know for me, I lost a lot of weight when I was in an abusive relationship. I lost a lot of weight. I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to get out of bed. I was depressed, you know? But once I got out of bed, I did the physical act of getting out of bed. I felt a lot better. Go to regular medical checkups. Exercise. Even if it's just a walk, go outside. Smell the fresh air. It seems so overrated and so cliche, but it's true. Smell the fresh air. Eat nutritious food. Get sleep. Don't stay up all night worrying about them. Who cares? Consider getting massage. Joining a club, something that makes you happy, do it. Work on your mental health. This is crucial. You need to consider going to individual therapy to process the relationship because it was tough and it was a lot. Join a support group for people who have left toxic relationships. No one's really going to understand you until they've been there themselves. Journal your emotions to process them. I love journaling. It helps me a lot. Do some meditation, mindful practices. Talk to us on here. Join us every Tuesday. We want to be here for you. Red flags for future relationships, okay? Eventually, you're going to be ready to date it again. What happens when that time comes? You know, you need to be equipped to spot red flags early so you don't get suckered in again. Early red flags, okay? We made a whole video on this as well on our channel, so please, if you have not checked out the videos on our channel, please make sure you hit like and subscribe so you don't miss any content. We work really hard to put our trauma into videos so that way you guys can learn from it and don't have to go through our mistakes. Early red flag would be love bombing, way too much too soon. Pushing for commitment quickly. Isolating you from friends and family. Controlling behavior disguised as caring. Disrespecting your boundaries, making you feel like you're too much or too sensitive. Those are all really important red flags. Green flags to look for would be respecting your boundaries. Encourage your friends and encouraging friendships and interests. Communicating openly and honestly. There's nothing better than being able to talk to someone without feeling like they're going to blow up at you. Having a safe space to talk to is really important. Someone that takes responsibility for their mistakes, that's a green flag. Someone that supports your goals and dreams without feeling jealous, that's a green flag. Someone that makes you feel safe and valued, that's a green flag. We did a whole video on green flags, so please make sure you check that out on our channel. Dealing with mutual friends and family. This is one of the hardest parts, and some of you won't understand. Some people won't understand why you left, and especially if your ex was really good at putting on a public face. Remember, narcissists are really good at hiding abuse behind the doors, okay? So everyone's gonna think you're crazy for leaving because they think this person's so perfect. And you need to remember, does jokingly tease each other a red flag? I don't think so. I think it's healthy to be able to joke about relationships and joke about funny, weird things. I think that that's fine. If it becomes to a point where the other person feels uncomfortable, then I would say that that's not okay. Okay. It says, you don't owe anyone an explanation. You don't have to justify your decision to leave. If it wasn't work for me, enough. I don't think that teasing is a red flag. I think that a lot of people, especially these days, I think it's important to have humor in a relationship. And me personally, I love to have banter in a relationship, you know, always joking, you know, making jokes, being sarcastic. I feel like that keeps a relationship interesting and live. And I think that that's important to be able to joke. And if you feel comfortable enough with somebody to make jokes like that, I think that's a green flag and that's a healthy relationship. If you're in an abusive relationship, you're not really going to feel comfortable enough to joke. Kelly says communication is key. So yeah, if it was a problem, you should tell them. But if you think that, as long as the joking isn't like a backhanded compliment, I think there's a fine line in that. Okay. Some people will choose sides in your breakup, and that's okay. Unfortunately, some mutual friends might want to stay friends with your ex instead of you, and it's gonna hurt. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna hurt, but it's not a reflection of your worth. So you need to remember that. Focus on the people who support you. The people who truly care about you will support your decision, even if they don't understand all the details. Okay, we're ending with a long-term healing and prevention, okay? Being in an abusive relationship is not just about leaving. It's about leaving and healing. Healing is really important. We're in the home stretch now, and this is where we talk about the long-term game. Not just surviving the breakup, not just surviving and barely getting by. We're talking about thriving and making sure you never end up in this situation again. The healing journey. It's not linear. Some days you'll feel really strong and confident and powerful. And other days you'll miss them and doubt your decision. And that's normal, okay? Healing is not a straight line. It's more like a spiral staircase with nails. You might revisit the same emotions, but each time you're still on the healing journey, okay? Give yourself some time. Give yourself some credit. Please, there's no timeline for healing. Don't let anyone tell you, you should be over it by now. Take as long as you need. Some people heal in months. Some people heal in years. It took me years. Your timeline is your timeline, and there's nothing wrong with that. You need to celebrate small victories. The first day you didn't think about them, that's a celebration. The first time you laughed genuinely, that's a celebration. The first time you were excited about something, that's a celebration, my friends. The first time you realized you were happy. That's also a celebration, my friends. These moments matter. Acknowledge them and celebrate them, please. Monochrome says, my friend was still friends with his ex, like nothing happened, and they're both dating still. Is that normal? I think in a normal adult relationship, if you can still be friends with your ex and it's platonic, I think that's a blessing. Because that means that you had a healthy relationship, you guys broke up, it didn't work out for whatever reason, but you guys are still friends, and you wish the best for each other. You know? Because you did spend time with this person at some point, and you did care about this person for some point, and then just to block them out and act like they just don't exist. I don't really know if that's necessarily a good reality. You know, I think that it's important, especially these days, to have as many people in your inner circle that love you and support you. So if you're able to have a mature relationship with your ex that's completely platonic with respect to your partners, you know, I think that that's very healthy. You know, there's nothing worse than having a bunch of enemies in the world and cutting off everybody, you know, because that sucks and that's a lonely world. If you can have if you had a healthy relationship and you guys broke up because you guys were going different directions in life and you guys can still be respectful to your partners, you know, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. If you're still friends with your ex and you guys are hooking up, then that's absolutely not okay. You know, but some people date and it doesn't work out, and that's fine. They want different things. They want different paths. That's completely fine. It's fine to still be their friend because you care about this person, you know? Doesn't mean you're in love with him. You can still have healthy boundaries and still have a friend. The more friends, the better. Nobody wants to live a lonely life. That's depressing, you know? I think in these days, it's really hard to find people you can count on. You know, and if you can find someone that you can call at 2 a.m. to come pick you up because you got a flat, you know, and that friend's gonna be there for you, you know, I think that's great. I really do. If you guys are crossing boundaries and whatever, then that's not okay. Noctivist says, thank you for saying this. I'm still friends with my ex. We have 2 daughters together. We seem to get along better now than we were together. Absolutely. I'm a firm believer in you don't need more enemies in this world. If you guys can have a platonic relationship, especially if you have children, and you guys can get along as best as possible, because at the end of the day, the children is all that matters. You want to give them a normal childhood and get along as best as possible. Nobody goes into marriage or relationship expecting to get a divorce and everything that comes with it. It's really hard, you know, but you have to throw your idea of what your perfect life was without the, you have to throw your idea of the perfect life out the window. And you have to get going with the times and make it work, you know? So thank you for sharing that, Noctis. I really appreciate it. Yes, you can share your story. Please tell us. We would love to hear it. We're here. I would love to hear. Please, I'm here for you. Yes, please tell us. We'd love to hear. I think it's really important, especially if you're trying to co-parent, it's really important to get along for the children and give them the best. It's not the kid's fault that you guys got a divorce. It's not the kid's fault that you guys broke up. It's not the kid's fault, you know, that their parent was, you know, an alcoholic or, you know, cheated or whatever. You know, the kids didn't ask for that. But they do deserve to have both their parents to grow up in as normal childhood as possible. And, you know, it's always better to try to get along with your ex than to be complete enemies, especially if you're co-parenting. So I don't think it's weird at all. I think that life is short. You do you and do the best that you can to make life as enjoyable as possible. You guys shouldn't have to suffer. The kids shouldn't have to suffer. You know, as an adult, co-parenting, you have to put a lot to the side, you know, because at the end of the day, the kids matter. So yeah, you're angry. You're angry about a lot of stuff, but you got to put it to the side. It doesn't matter anymore. You get along with this person because you had kids with them, and you gotta suck it up and you make it do. Because your kids don't want to see you fighting. You know, they want to see you get along and they want to have a happy childhood as can be. So if you guys can get along great, that's amazing. If you get along better now than we were together, bless. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that, Noctis. That's awesome. I think your username is Adores Her. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I would love to hear your story. Please let us know. While you're typing your story in the chat, for anyone else that's still watching, I'm going to finish up my segment. Adore Star. Yep, I'm going to finish up my segment. Oh, here we go. I met this guy on the bus about a month ago. Okay, cool. We hit it off, and soon I learned he was in a complicated relationship. He wanted to hook up and we did. I know it was wrong, but eventually we started. Oh, it got cut off. I need to know. I need to know. Please, please, I will give you my best advice. I want to hear your story. I need the full story. Thank you guys so much for joining. We're going to be here every Tuesday for our Toxic Tuesday Live. We want to give you guys valuable information. We want to be a safe community space for you guys. We want to be a group for you guys. Okay. So you said, I met this guy on the bus about a month ago. We hit it off, and soon I learned he was in a complicated relationship. He wanted to hook up, and we did. I know it was wrong, but eventually we started hooking up afterwards regularly. Okay. I think there's more, so I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna give a door star the floor while we're waiting for the rest of it. Is there more? I think so. There's gotta be more. Did his girlfriend find out? Oh, here we go. There's more. Okay. But eventually we started acting like we were dating, even though we weren't. We went out daily, and eventually he left to Nebraska to pursue his girlfriend, but that didn't work out. Something on a side note while they're finishing their story, because I want to hear this. And thank you for feeling safe enough to share this with us. I think that's really important. I want to tell you something that has been told to me before, and I didn't listen. And I'm going to tell you right now. How they find you is how they're going to leave you, okay? If they found you while they were in a relationship, they're going to leave you while they're in a relationship, okay? I know that you guys don't believe me, but I'm telling you from my own personal trauma. This channel is very personal to me. Somebody needs to learn from all my pain and trauma. That's why I'm doing this. I want to wait for a door star to finish. I think there's still more. So I'm going to give you the floor before. I'm going to give you the floor before I comment. But while we're waiting, I want to tell you guys how they leave you, how they find you is how they leave you. If they find you while they're in a relationship, they're going to leave you the same way. Kylie says, are you guys still together right now? Okay. I'm going to read it out for everyone that's viewing right now. If you guys are in this chat, thank you guys so much for being here. Please make sure you hit like and subscribe so you don't miss anything. And I'm going to read out Adora Star's comment. And we're going to give them some advice. It says, I met this guy on the bus about a month ago. We hit it off, and soon I learned he was in a complicated relationship. He wanted to hook up, and we did. I know it was wrong, but eventually we started hooking up regularly afterwards. But eventually we started acting like we were dating, even though we weren't, and we went out daily. And he eventually left to Nebraska to pursue his girlfriend, but that didn't work out. Eventually she broke up with him, but eventually I started seeing the red flags where he was misogynistic and often putting me down. And he was homeless because he quit his job and left his apartment for this girl, and I felt bad, opened my doors, and let him stay. Okay, I'm telling you right now, he's a homosexual. He's a homosexual. If you do not know what that is somebody who stays with you, that uses you for a place to stay. I'm going to give you the exact definition right now. Exact definition, okay? Are you ready for this? I just learned this term a few months ago, okay? Kylie says he's an opportunist. He's an opportunist. A homosexual is a term used to describe somebody who enters a romantic relationship or a sexual relationship to secure housing, financial support, or other resources. Okay, he's using this. Yes, exactly. Noctivus says nobody falls in love faster than a homeless narcissist. Oh my god, Noctivus, thank you so much. Dorset said he started treating me badly, and eventually I got so annoyed because I wasn't comfortable in my own home. I found a new guy and we're dating, but he told He told me that I was basically cheating on him, and he eventually left to his hometown somewhere in Mexico. And once he got there, I told him I didn't want anything to do with him and blocked him. I'm so proud of you for blocking him. I'm so proud of you blocking him. I know that was traumatic, and I'm so happy that you have a boyfriend now and that you realized that it was wrong. And I'm so glad you left. Like, I'm so excited. That's great. Sometimes people stay way too long, including myself. I can say this because I did stay way too long. But the fact that you left and you have a boyfriend now and you see that it was wrong, I'm proud of you. How they find you is how they will leave you, you know? And I love Noctilus's quote where it says, nobody falls in love faster than a homeless narcissist. That is so true. That is so true. Like, we need to clap for that. We need to clap for that. Where is it? It is a roller coaster of emotions, though. And I want to thank you so much for sharing that. I'm sorry that he used you and that he did that to you. Yes, a homosexual is a real thing. I heard that and I was like, what? Like, my brain, like, couldn't process it. Like, I was like... Whoa. My brain couldn't process it. So, homosexual is a real thing and they use you for financial housing, for everything, you know? So, please, if somebody's a homosexual... slap, leave them, goodbye. I'm so glad that you realized that and that he went to Mexico and goodbye, right?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Do not entertain that again. I'm so glad that you blocked him. A lot of people have a hard time blocking because they justify like, oh, we'll break up, but I want to block them, you know? Block them. Live your best life. Block them. I'm so proud of you for blocking. What an actual bum. Seriously, what is wrong with people? How do they live with themselves? I have no idea. And he probably left to Nebraska to go be with her, so he probably didn't have to work as much and pay rent, and then realized that was a bust because she was tired of his crap, and then went back to you. And then realized that you were tired of his crap, so he had nowhere to go. Oh well, too bad, so sad. So then he had to leave the country. Literally definition of a homosexual. Adora Star says, the audacity to say I cheated on him because we went on dates but never actually made an excuse or dated at all. Of course not. He didn't want to put the effort in. He didn't want to put the effort, which we made a video about this as well on our channel if you haven't checked it out already. But they don't want to put the effort in, but they want to make and do all these claims, right? Oh, you're my girlfriend, but we never had the exclusivity talk. And you're not allowed to see anybody else, and he wants a relationship without the label, but he doesn't want to put the work in, right? Kylie says he wanted a relationship without the label. 100%. How rude. And I bet you he was still seeing his ex and hooking up with her and seeing other people too while trying to tell you that you couldn't do it. I bet you. I bet you. Tell me, is that true? I bet you. Because that's how they are. They want to put rules on you, but they don't want to follow them. I bet you. I'm glad you have a boyfriend now. And that you're out of that because sometimes it's really hard to leave and close the door, you know? But I'm so glad. Yes, please say something else. The floor is open. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to have you here. I'm so happy to be able to offer you any advice, give you a safe place to share. I'm gonna be opening up the floor every Tuesday night for you guys. It heals me too. I've been through a lot of trauma and abuse, so doing this also heals me too. It's not just for you guys. Adorsar says, yes, he was talking on Tinder to 4 girls. I freaking knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. That's how they are. I'm sorry. According to Noctilus, a homeless narcissist falls in love faster. It's true. Kylie says, oh my god, a hypocrite. It's true.
Will you ever grow up?
What is wrong with people? I swear. How do you have the balls? Like, how do you genuinely, like, are you serious right now? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Like, who is this dude? Monochrome says, who is this dude? That's terrible. The internet needs to come for him. The internet needs to come from him. His mama needs to have a talk with him because, yeah, Kelly says some self-reflection because he was cheating. You know, that's another thing in our narcissist video is they will claim that you're cheating on them, which is exactly what he did, and saying that you're seeing other people when you're not, but he's actually doing it. That's like the classic sign of a narcissist. They're making these accusations to you because they have a guilty conscience about themselves. Adorstar says, I know this is wrong and it's been eating at me, but the day before he left, we hooked up because he kept pressuring me, you know? The day after, I started dating my boyfriend, and it eats at me because I shouldn't have been more stronger with my boundaries. You know, I don't think that you should beat yourself up, because this is a lesson that you lived and you learned, and you can't change the past. And all that matters is that you stopped accepting it, and you're going to learn from this, and you're not going to tolerate it again. You're not going to date a narcissist, homeless, homosexual. And I don't think that you should feel bad. Yep, Monochrome says, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. This is a live and a learn. You know, life is short. You thought he would change. You liked him. You know, maybe he made you false promises. And now you realize it was wrong. You woke up and you know it was wrong, and you're not going to do it again. So don't feel bad, 100%. And maybe it led you to your boyfriend, and that's how you were able to, you know, heal and move on from that, you know? Yeah, don't feel bad that Kylie says, don't feel bad that a different man took the opportunity that he didn't. I love that, Kylie. That was really good. I love that, Kylie. Yeah, it's true. Don't feel bad that a different man took the opportunity that he didn't. You know, 100%. 100%. You know, I don't think that you should judge yourself up. I don't think that you should beat yourself up, because everybody lives and learns, and we get suckered in because we want to see the good in people, you know? You didn't know that he was going to quit his job and try to use you for a place to live because you liked him. You know, a man should be responsible for their own actions. And for him to depend on you and to make you feel uncomfortable in your own home is terrible, you know? But I don't think that you should beat yourself up for the path that it took to find to your boyfriend. You know, sometimes, unfortunately, in life, we have to make these terrible decisions and learn these terrible steps to be where we need to be, you know? If I hadn't gone through my abusive relationship, I would have had the strength to leave and to be a stronger person now, and to, you know, start this YouTube channel about all my trauma, and to be helpful to other people, you know? And it also helped me learn confidence for myself, not just in a relationship, but just in general as a person. You know? So going through those things suck and they're terrible, but it's also life, and you live and you learn, and I don't think you should beat yourself up at all. And I think that you should take this as a learning lesson, that it carved your way to your path for you to realize that it wasn't okay. You were able to leave safely, and that's more important. And now you found your boyfriend, and I'm so happy for you. Genuinely, like, that's amazing. Yep, Noctivus says, so happy for you finding your boyfriend. Yes, 100%. We're happy for you. We're happy for you. We want to be your support group. We want to be excited for you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Monochrome's happy for you too. That's amazing, you know? It's hard, especially these days, to have a community to share love and respect in a safe space for. That's why I'm so excited to create this online community for you guys. So that way, you know, because I didn't really have a good family growing up. And I don't really have those family emotions and connections. So I'm hoping to find that online. With my new family with you guys, and I'm so happy to be able to open up the floor to you guys and to give you guys a safe space that I didn't have before. And hopefully you guys can learn through my trauma and my lessons, because I've been through a lot. Malcolm says, yep, Detonate. It takes a lot of heart to actually post your trauma on YouTube and give advice. It was really hard. It's scary to talk about sometimes, because it's like admitting that I actually tolerated that much abuse for so long. Like, I want to slap myself. I'm angry with myself, you know? But you have to remember that narcissists are really good at what they do. And even the smartest person, you know, can fall for something like that, especially when you're in love and it's really hard to get over, you know, because then you're admitting you wasted all that time. And that's also a hard pill to swallow, because then that's time of your life that you don't get back. So I want to take all of my trauma and pain and learning lessons to put it out, to give people a safe space, and so that they can also learn too. You know, so all my trauma needs to help somebody else. Adorstar says, the only issue I have with my boyfriend is that he isn't consistent texting like I am. Maybe he's just an in-person person, but that's why I've calmed down and relaxed a little bit instead of worrying. Okay, I actually have great advice on this, okay? But my first question before I give you this is, how long have you been dating him officially, Adorstar? Because I'm in the process of making a video on this, but everyone's communication style is different. Like me, like, I'm a big texter. Like, I want to text consistently. The job that I have allows me to be on my phone and text, you know. I don't know if you're male or female, but it's a known statistic that female are more emotional and like to have more of like an emotional connection, and men are more likely to, you know, be a little more short and dry and aren't really big texters, you know. So I do think that you guys may have a different communication pattern, and that's completely fine. There's nothing wrong with having a different communication pattern, but with your new relationship, you guys have to compromise. Oh, no, I would never laugh. No. 3 days. Okay. Girl, you're fine. So just relax, breathe. It's okay. You guys have to learn each other's communication pattern. Me, I'm a big texter, so I want my partner to be able to text me, hey, how you doing? How's your day? Whatever. Like, I need that. Like, that's an emotional need for me, right? Monochrome says, yep, I get it. Me and my crush are both long distance, so I get it. Yes. Okay. So communication patterns are going to be different for everybody. Some people are not big texters at all, you know? But unless you communicate that to them and let them know, then he's not going to know. So I don't think that you can completely expect him to change his communication pattern, because that's like completely expecting somebody to change how they are. But I do think that you can kind of make some compromises and be like, hey, I know that, you know, you don't really like to text much during the day. You're more of like an in-person person. That's fine. But I have an emotional need where I kind of need a little bit more. Adorstar says he sends me messages throughout his day, but it hurts because I don't want to be clingy and force him to text me. Okay. Listen to me very carefully. If you guys have only been dating officially for 3 days, you have to understand how the male brain works. Okay? If you are too clingy, then it's going to push his desire to pursue you away. And this is like really, really important, because I did a video on this. I think it's called the Coolidge effect. Okay? This is really important. It's called the Coolidge effect. The man needs to want to chase you. If you're too clingy and he doesn't establish that bonding with you before that happens, then he's not going to build a real connection with you. So you need to take the time and you need to make him chase you. Because if you're up his butt, he's not going to build those connections in his brain authentically. And you're going to end up being more of like a hookup than a long-term relationship. This is a real thing. Like, please look it up. Look up the Coolidge effect, okay? There's been a bunch of studies on this, and it shows the dopamine levels in your brain, especially the male brain, and how the male and female brain process things is completely different. I'm going to have another video coming out about this as well on my channel soon, because this is a real thing. Adorstar says he's a busy man. He has 2 jobs, so I know he always isn't on his phone. Okay, yes, that's true. You need to give him time to have his brain bond with you. That way he comes to the point where he just can't be without you. But if his brain has not formed that connection yet, then you guys are gonna have issues. It's like you're gonna short circuit the fuse too soon. It's true, it's science. You can look it up, look up the Coolidge effect. You need to let his brain get to that point first. Adorstar says, that's true. That's my only text when I truly mean it, not when I'm worried. Okay. That's when you need to do some self-reflection and tell yourself, like, you can't put your past trauma into this relationship with him. You need to give yourself time, give yourself grace. Yeah, Kylie says, don't let him have full access to you yet. That's true. Because if you give him too much of you too soon, then he's going to be bored. Please look up the Coolidge effect. I mean, it's like mind-blowing. It will help you out a lot. Please look it up. But in the meantime, while you are feeling, you know, overwhelmed and you're feeling worried and you're feeling, you know, like you miss him a lot, you need to replace that time with something else. I know this sounds a little crazy, but I talk to ChatGPT a lot. And I love to take myself to the gym. And I like to keep myself busy. That way I'm not thinking about them too much, because then it becomes really hard to control those urges to text them all the time, you know? So you need to occupy yourself and keep yourself busy. Keep yourself busy with work. Keep yourself busy with, Keep yourself busy with a hobby. Keep yourself busy with a new project. Keep yourself busy on our channel talking to us. We'd love to talk to you. It's really hard. I'm a girl, obviously, and it's hard to control those urges in a new relationship because you're like so excited and the dopamine in your brain's like, oh my god, and you guys are having a party and it's like amazing. But then you short circuit the relationship in his brain too soon, and that's when you guys really start having problems. So if you really like this person and you want to make it work, what you need to do is you need to put the work in and make him miss you and want you. That's just how the male brain is wired. And you need to, there's also, if you check on our channel, we have an affiliate called Be His Secret Obsession. I personally took this myself. It's amazing. But it's like how it teaches you how not to give yourself too soon and how to, it's like creating a reward for the guy, because that's how their brain is wired. And if they get like the hookup and everything too soon, then their brain doesn't create the emotional bond that it needs, and then eventually they get bored and start looking for someone else. So like Kylie said, don't give him full access to you yet, and make him miss you, make him want you, because if you don't allow him to miss you and you don't allow him to think about you and to create that bond with you, then he's gonna get bored, because guys thrive on that. They want to miss you, they want to want you, they want those things. So you need to let those things happen naturally first. Adorsa says, thank you so much. I will look it up. You're so welcome. I would love to be your ghost pal. I'm so happy to have you here. Definitely check out our other videos. Kylie says they like the mystery. They do. Yes, please check out our other videos. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. It really helps the algorithm if you guys like our videos, and text a comment in the chat or text a comment in our video. It really helps us. Monochrome says that they have to go. It's 4 in the morning in Britain. Oh my god, thank you so much for staying up. I really appreciate you. I'm working on the other video for you as well. See you next Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining. You're the best. I can't wait to see you next week. Thank you guys so much. Love you guys. I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest of our segment for anyone watching live or later, so that way they have all the content. Thank you guys so much. Okay, so we are in the creating your new life vision, right? What do you want your new life to look like? Is it free of constraints of a toxic relationship? Like, what do you actually want, Where do you want to live your career? What you want to explore? You have a vision, right? You want to try a new language, start a new business, go back to school, learn to salsa dance, pole dance. Something that makes you happy, you need to pursue it. Keep yourself busy, right? Thank you so much, Monochrome. I really appreciate it. When you guys comment and like on our videos, YouTube really rewards us. So I would really be so thankful. It helps us be able to create more content for you guys. All right, beautiful humans. We are coming to the end of our live together. This was the best live we've ever had. I'm like gonna cry because I'm so thankful for you guys, and I feel so thankful. Noctivus says it's 1 p.m. here on Wednesday. That's so crazy. We have so many different viewers from different time zones. That's wild. I really appreciate you staying up till 4 a.m. though, Monochrome. That's like amazing. I'm so thankful. I want to let you guys know when you're ready to date again. When you're ready to date again and you're happy being single, that's when you're ready to date again, after you've processed your relationship from your past trauma, and when you can spot the red flags clearly and you're confident in yourself that you don't need someone else to complete the void around you. If you're looking for someone else because you're lonely, you're not ready yet, my friend, and that's okay. What if they threaten to hurt themselves if you leave? That's emotional manipulation, and it's not your responsibility to manage their mental health. You're not their parent. If you believe the threat is real, you need to call 911 or crisis hotline. But don't stay in a toxic relationship because of threats. That's exactly what they want. How do you deal with the financial stress of leaving? Okay, it's hard. I won't lie. I've been through it before. I lost everything. But you need to remember you can rebuild financially. You can rebuild your mental health just as easily, but it takes time. I lost everything. I had to move to a shelter, But I'm safe and I'm alive and I'm not in a body bag, and he can't kill me. He doesn't know where I am. And I'm so happier now. Please look into assistance programs, lean on your support system, and remember that this financial stress is just temporary. It's not worth your life. What if you have kids together? This makes it complicated but not impossible. Focus on co-parenting apps for communication. Document everything. Consider parallel parenting instead of co-parenting if they're still toxic. Your kids need to see you modeling healthy relationships. Your homework assignment, I'm giving you, my viewers, your homework assignment. Before we wrap up, if you're watching this live or you're watching it back later, I'm giving you homework, okay? I want you to do one thing this week that moves you closer to freedom. If you're still in the relationship, open a separate bank account and reach out to one person for support. That's what you can do for me this week. If you're planning to leave, have one difficult conversation with someone on your support team we talked about, and research one practical resource that I talked about in this video. You can do that for me, okay? Because I care about you and I want you to leave. If you've already left, your homework assignment is do one thing that brings you joy or helps you heal. And I want to hear about it next week, okay? If you can do one thing for me, I'm giving you guys homework. One thing for me, okay? If you're watching this live or you're watching it back later, because we're going over how to leave an abusive relationship from start to finish, I want you to do one thing for me this week, and I want you to tell me about it next Tuesday. The one step you took to better your life. You opened that bank account. You saved $20. You have your bag ready to go. You told somebody, okay? You changed your phone number. If you've already left, you signed up for salsa classes. You joined a youth group. You walked your dog around the block. Okay? I want to hear about it. Okay, listen to me very carefully, okay? You're not broken. You're not damaged goods. You're not too much. You're not too sensitive or any of the other lies they told you. You're a survivor. You're brave. You're worthy of love and respect and happiness, okay? Leaving a toxic relationship is one of the hardest things you'll ever do. It almost broke me, but it didn't kill me because I left. But it's also one of the most important things you'll ever do. You're not just saving yourself. You're breaking a cycle. You're showing other people it's possible to leave. You're modeling healthy relationships for any children in your life as well. The road ahead, I'm not gonna lie, it's not gonna be easy, but it will be worth it. There will be days when you doubt yourself, days that you feel lonely and depressed and wonder if you made the right choice. On those days, I want you to remember this moment. Remember you had the strength to listen to this entire stream, and remember that you had the courage to start planning your exit. I want you to remember that you're stronger than you think you are and that you're worthy of love. You've got this. I believe in you. Your future self is cheering you on, and I want to hear all about it. And this entire community here is here to support you. Before you go, I want to make sure you guys have all these resources saved, okay? I have the number above in the stream, the National Domestic Violence Helpline, okay? It's 1-800-799-7233, okay? The crisis text line, if you need to text, is text HOME. HOME, which is you're going to text HOME to 741741. I'm going to copy and paste this into the chat for you guys, okay? The National Sexual Assault Hotline, 1-800-656-4673, and the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is 988. Remember, you don't have to be in physical danger to use these resources. Emotional abuse is still abuse. Please, 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 everyone, if you found this helpful, if you found this valuable, please hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a Toxic Tuesday. Please comment in the chat with a fire emoji. It helps us hit the YouTube algorithm so that it can reach somebody that really needs to hear this. Share this live with somebody that needs to hear it. Tag them. You might be saving their life. Please drop a heart in the chat if you're committed to choosing yourself and your happiness. I see you and I'm proud of you. I genuinely care. This is something that's really deep to my heart. It's something that I've been through, and I want to give others the strength to leave. Thank you so much for joining us for another dose of Toxic Tuesday of reality and healing. Until then, my friends, keep blocking and blessing and bouncing with style. You're worth fighting for, and don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. This has been Date or Detonate, where we turn red flags into freedom flags. Peace out, my beautiful humans. Don't forget to check our channel for all of our videos. We have a lot of really great videos coming out. Please leave us some love in the videos. We really appreciate it. Share our channel. We want to get the help out there. And check out this new outro we just had made. Peace out.
Thanks for watching Date or